Nabil Anane made his one championship debut when he was just 19 years old, getting thrown against Superlek in his first fight down at flyweight. He suffered a brutal and slightly embarrassing knockout loss at the hands of Superlek, but after moving up a weight class and collecting some insanely good wins in the process against the likes of Muay Thai, Kulobdam, So Wulin, and Nico Carrillo, he earned a rematch against Superlek at bantamweight, and boy did he shock the world. So, let's take a look at how Nabil Anane dominated Superlek. So he did this by checking the hands, countering with body kicks, using excellent clinch work and knees, forward pressure, and just an overall more diverse attack set. So, let's start with checking the hands. Nabil's immediate game plan was to pin the right hand of Superlek to his head. Now, this was extremely effective as Superlek essentially walked into this fight with the plan of only throwing overhand rights. So, by pinning the hand, is essentially taking away Superlek's main weapon. Not only does this neutralize the right hand, it allows Nabil to judge his range better, obviously to control distance, land strikes. He was landing a really good step-in body kick or a step-up left body kick. But again, just the hand trapping allows Nabil to control what's getting thrown and when. It helps him assert dominance in the fight, and it's just generally a good tactic if you're a longer, rangier striker against someone that wants to mainly punch, especially in the small gloves where you can really get a grab on it. It's just a really good strategy to control the hands in Muay Thai. You see fighters, they'll often have their hands out, palming, they'll start parrying the heads, they'll start playing with the hands, and that's just really good at neutralizing punches, and Nabil Anane did that perfectly in this fight. Body kicks. So Superlek, while he did make weight for this fight, he missed hydration, and he noticeably looked out of shape. Obviously less muscle, a little more fat on the belly. And you see a fighter that's a little bit out of shape, what's one thing you want to do? You want to attack their body, because it's soft, it's tender, it's a little bit mushy. And Nabil Anane did this constantly. He'd pin the hand to Superlek's head. Superlek already has a very high guard, so this worked very well, but he'd pin Superlek's hand to his head, or just pump out a jab, get Superlek to raise his hand, and then he'd just tuck in, not even like a switch kick, but he just steps up the body kick because he can get so much leverage on it because he's so long. And he'd just constantly do this. And even if it doesn't land to the body, which it did constantly in this fight, and you can see slowly a bruise start to appear on his side. But even if it lands to the arm, or even if he starts kicking the head and it doesn't land, that's pinning Superlek's right hand to his body or to his head. You don't want to overextend on a right hand and get countered with a left kick, because Nabil Anane did that a few times, and I'm sure it bloody hurt. So that also helps neutralize Superlek's right hand and just land a very high scoring technique, because if you don't know, in Muay Thai, body kicks are quite high scoring. So just again, great game planning and strategy by Nabil to shut down Superlek's weapons. The clinch and knees. So Nabil, obviously a very tall, long fighter, he's going to have a lot of leverage in the clinch for knees, and he just towers over people. And against big punches, you either want to be all the way out or all the way in. And when Superlek would come in swinging overhands, Nabil would simply just clinch, pivot, land a few knees, or just clinch and hold, waiting for the break. Again, anytime Superlek closed the distance, which against Nabil is bloody difficult because Nabil is just constantly hand checking and pumping out that jab. Once Superlek finally gets in and starts throwing, Nabil just clinches and locks him down, right? And landing knees in the process obviously scores pretty high. But again, just shutting Superlek down in the one area that he can maybe do some damage. And he didn't just use clinch knees. He used a lot of aggressive stepping knees. You see Nabil check the hands and step in with a stepping knee, like he'll switch stances forward and land the left knee, or he'll just wait for Superlek to come in and time just a nice knee up the middle. And again, when you're coming forward, swinging on punches, you're overextending your body, right? If you get kneed while you're throwing a punch, it's very, very painful. And it's just a good strategy to do against a big puncher. If they're coming in, they're overextending, they're stretching their body out, slam a knee in there, it'll do some really really good damage. And again, Nabil just executes this perfectly, having great technique, leaning back on his knees. And for someone so tall, he really is able to get so much leverage by like lifting up on his toes to get even more height on his knees, which is really just insanely impressive. And I think a lot of tall fighters should take notes about how Nabil has grown his game, especially in the clinch. Forward pressure. So in their first fight, Nabil gave up a lot of ground, right? He didn't establish any respect. Superlek was just able to walk him down, march forward, and land his punches when he wanted to, and get Nabil against the ropes where he couldn't defend himself properly. Now, in this fight, while it wasn't a major part of his game to just constantly pressure, Nabil constantly controlled the ring with his hand trapping and his footwork and his body kicks, and his pressure is actually what helped him rock and nearly finish Superlek in the fight. So, obviously, he'd pump out the jabs, that'd get him going forward, the body kicks helped, and especially the knees towards the end, that really helped him put on forward pressure, and to generate power while on the back foot is very, very difficult, and it's very, very rare that you see someone have knockout power while going backwards. And again, Superlek, main strategy in this fight, trying to swing overhands and knock Nabil out. It just helped Nabil just take the punch, just roll with them, or even just neutralize them altogether. Just shutting down Superlek, neutralizing his weapons, and just staying safe in the process. Diverse attacks. The art of 8 limbs. You have a lot of different weapons to use in Muay Thai, and Superlek came into this fight with essentially one weapon and one weapon only, and that was the overhand right, which isn't a very high-scoring technique and proved very ineffective. Nabil, on the other hand, had jabs, lead body kicks, rear body kicks, right uppercuts, right straights, body punches, step-in knees, clinch knees, elbows at times, and just, again, a large variety of attacks from different angles. This obviously helped him rock Superlek when he stepped in with that knee and then followed up with the right hand to the temple, which wobbled him. Obviously, when he landed the head kick at the end of the second round, which again stunned Superlek, and the knees towards the end of the fight. Nabil's toolkit was simply significantly larger in this fight, and he had a lot more skills to lean on when dealing with Superlek's style, and it is a really important reason as to why he won this fight. This was a monumental win for Nabil. First of all, because Superlek is pound for pound one of, if not the best Muay Thai fighter today. He has never been knocked out. He holds wins over some excellent names such as Pampayak, Muang Thai, Rod Tang, Takaru, and Jonathan Haggerty, and he has made it look relatively easy, especially in his last few fights. So, for someone that he has knocked out previously with extreme ease, to build himself up, to collect some really, really great wins. Again, Nabil has beat Nakrob Fairtex, who is ranked, right? Muang Thai, who again is a mainstay of bantamweight and flyweight, and it's just a very tough fight for most people. Kulabdam, right, who has insane power. Then we have, I think, Felipe Lobo, who gave Haggerty a massive run for his money and has knocked out Samapech twice. And then So Ulin, who I don't know much about, but from what I've heard, a Letway legend, a very tough fight for most people, apparently. And then Nico Carrillo, someone with extreme power, massive size, someone who I thought could put the pressure on and balance out the size advantage for Nabil. But no, he ran through all of them. With, again, other than Kulabdam, relative ease, making short work of Wang Tai, Felipe Lobo, So Lin, and then knocking out Nico Carrillo in the first round to then dominate Superlek, right? We've really seen Nabil grow from a boy into a man. Let's not forget, Nabil came into one championship at 19 years old. That's how old I am. If I went and got signed to one championship and they tell me my first fight is Superlek, I'm leaving. I don't care. I'm leaving. Superlek in your first fight is absolutely insane. And Nabil was just a boy then. And over the years, we have seen him collect some great wins and really grow into a man, moving up a weight class, showing increased strength and obviously much better skill. So this is a monumental win for Nabil, and at that weight class, I don't know who beats him. A rematch with Superlek is next, and while I do understand that Superlek was most likely injured in that camp, he did not need to take that fight. It was his fault that he continued and decided to fight, and he seemed like he didn't show up with a good game plan either. He didn't seem like he was taking it seriously. He seemed very dejected in the fight. And I think against Nabil, Nabil showed such good skills, such good moveset, such good game planning, that I actually really am confident that he will dominate Superlek in the rematch, and I'd really, really like to see if Nabil could knock out Superlek, as Superlek has never been knocked out in his career. One of the commentators said that he's also never been knocked down, and Nabil's the first to do it. I'm not 100% sure on that. I don't know if I can do the research to find it, but if anyone has any info on that, let me know. But hats off to Nabil, man. He is really, really impressed, and he's becoming a fan favorite by the minute. So I'm very, very excited to see, what's next from the Superlek rematch, and then what's next from after that. Maybe he fights Haggerty. There's a lot of good fights from, and I really do think he wins the majority of them at 145 pounds. So anyway, guys, that was the breakdown. I just wanted to break down that win, as it was just so incredible. Hope you guys enjoyed. You know the drill: like, comment, subscribe, and see ya.